Hi guys, Daniel Hastings here.
G'day, David Geary, and welcome to our April real estate vlog. Now we are in off memory, the second week or third week into the COVID virus.
Third week, I think.
Third week of the COVID virus.
Restrictions for.
Yep. And we are going to talk about how it has affected the market since our last vlog and what we've been doing to obviously counteract that as well, and what the market is actually physically doing. So a couple of things that we need to talk about is generally how we are presenting properties to the market. And the other thing would be is how many people are looking and how many stock coming on the market as well. So what's your thought about doing things in the marketplace, Dan?
Look, there's some adjustments there. As just reminding people, we're not allowed to do open houses, we're not allowed to do public auctions, we can't, so that's gone back to a more online version these days. So we can't rely on those traditional methods of attracting inquiry and inspections, etc. So really we're going back to probably the old school ways a little bit. Sadly, David, we can acknowledge that we were both around in those old school days.
We were.
Before open houses. So yeah, really just one-on-one inspections, keeping the numbers down through making sure that perhaps the occupants, being an owner or tenant, aren't around too, just to make sure that there's not too many people at a given point in time. A very strong emphasis on online. And I think we've spoken a lot, even if it's a walkthrough video, like a virtual inspection in that regard, or the virtual tours, which are fabulous and really allow people just to search through a house as they please. That's obviously been really important too. So I guess with that too, one of the things that we've spoken to our realestate.com representative, hello Natalie Crow, we've certainly seen that internet viewings are very high and very strong, and that probably shouldn't be a surprise, but it's still interesting to analyse. So at the moment, talking about this one, we're at 34 Station Street, just on the corner of Pioneer Road there as well. And this is a good example of what's been going on in the COVID market. What's been happening here? What are you seeing?
Okay, so just give you some stats on where things generally are without doing, say, 3D Matterport walkthroughs. Normally it's well under 100 people who kind of look at these properties, and that at the moment this property through a 3D walkthrough has 373 people.
And when we're saying the walkthrough, you're talking the virtual tour. Virtual tour, just for the dummies, so to speak.
Yeah, that's correct. So that's exceptional in the marketplace. But the flip side of that, the inspections alone in a market where apparently supposed to be very, very not a great market. So we had total of 15 inspections off memory in 3 days. Out of that, multiple buyers on the property. We already are holding a contract signed with a deposit actually today, which is roughly about 7 to 8 days on the market.
Yeah, right.
So
it's strong.
It's strong.
Yeah, if 3 days you've got 10 odd inspections happening, I remember you saying 4, 6 and 4 or something like that. I remember it being a good number each day. But what have they done? Like we said before, they've furnished it, they've marketed it well, they've done the virtual tours, and that's definitely helping out in a challenging market situation. An empty room is a very different situation, be it in this sort of market, in this sort of climate, let alone a normal time frame where we don't have all the
There's two things about it. Sorry, buddy. There's two things about it. One, when you're actually putting your marketing it online or on your signage, having something with the furniture gives that property a bit more character and it gives a bit more style, so you get more inquiry, don't you?
I think so. It's a styling, and then if it's styled well, and we have to give a kudos to Two Monkeys styling there, they certainly do a good job. It's a matter of making sure there's the right balance of furniture too. Certainly you can have what is perceived without furniture to be quite a small room, and then if it's styled correctly, it gives a much more spacious feel overall too.
So we've got an option, we will style a property, and like you can do digital styling as well.
You can virtual
but
furniture.
the disadvantage for me, and I don't know what your thoughts are here, is that when you actually look at the photo online, you get all excited when you walk in the door if it's vacant. It's a letdown, 100%. So when they walk back in the door, it resells the property again for them.
Look, it's one of those things, you get what you pay for, don't you? I mean, if you're prepared to spend a few bob and get the furniture done, have it styled well, have it photographed beautifully, that's obviously the best way to do it. Certainly the second best, and still a good option and a much more affordable option. But the virtual furniture is better than nothing.
Oh, definitely.
But it is
better
than being just an empty room with white walls, etc. as well. So from that point of view, definitely go the best way if you can. If you can afford to spend those funds rather. Well worth investment.
Oh, definitely. And just one little interesting stat, and I haven't got the last stat since the COVID virus, but prior, we were sometime between 5 and 10 times more the value that the furniture was costing. We're getting back in the marketplace.
You're
So
gonna-
that's a really good stat.
It's hard to quantify, isn't it? Exactly
It is.
what the benefit is,
It
but you're definitely getting your money back and some.
And some.
It's just a matter how much. And you know, you only have to attract one more buyer, offering party. Certainly in an auction, probably the most important person is the underbidder.
Correct.
And if you get that person, we have seen situations where that one extra person is worth tens of thousands of dollars,
That is.
if not a six-figure sum. So these sort of things can only help cover those bases and give you the best chance of achieving that sort of situation.
So what you're basically saying is more than critical today in the COVID virus to do everything right.
Always important generally, but especially at the moment.
Especially at the
Absolutely.
moment.
Yeah, for sure.
One other thing I might mention to you as well is people are asking other things about the market. Out of all those people, what 15 odd people I had through the door here, they're saying there's not a lot on the market.
Yeah.
So there is still good qualified buyers in the market, but there's not a lot of good stock
Not a lot
on
of
the market.
competition
Yeah.
for a seller.
Is there a reason why that, Dave? What do you
I think, look, you've got some people with all this, with all the press going on that are concerned about going on the market at the moment. There's no denying that. I think there's probably been some parties that have perhaps withdrawn as well. And that's fine. But I think at the end of the day, with the factors of less competition, so less properties on the market at the moment, the low interest rates which we've touched on before, the stock market is really patchy, so all those sort of things are still favourable. So is this market going to have an impact? Yes, there will be some impact. We have to acknowledge that, I think it's fair to say. But in saying that, are we going to have a massive issue? Certainly those are going to minimise the impact. Those factors I think are going to minimise the impact that we're seeing on property right now.
Yeah.
All right.
I think that might be a wrap.
Yeah. See you next month.
Thanks, guys. See ya.